And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Animation Edition, Season 6. This is Episode 2. This is your host, Ibrahim, aka Mark Brown, and we're back for another amazing animation-filled episode on the Animation Commendation. And today we have a returning contestant from last season as well as previous seasons. He's not new to the channel. He's been here many times. Mr. Stanford Clark, how are you?
Hi, great, Ibrahim. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. And
Good.
For people who haven't seen you before, can you introduce yourself and what your relation is with animation or film or
Well,
whatever?
yes. Well, I think where you and I met, I was the principal writer on an animation blog, excuse me, for a while. And then I have my own movie blog now, moviespastandpresent.com, where I blog and podcast and do social media, whatever. But I'm a big movie and a big animation fan. So particularly with movies, but some TV, and we'll just see how I do on the show today.
You're not hoping for any PBS questions, right?
No, those are the ones that always kill me. Those PBS shows from the '90s, which I didn't watch. So.
Yes. And for all of you who are new to the show, this is a 12-question multiple-choice game show about anything in the field of animation. As long as Stanford keeps getting questions right, he goes high up the ladder. Once he gets one wrong, that's the end of the game, and he leaves with the last number of points from the last safe haven. He has 3 lifelines to help him, 50-50. Gets rid of 2 wrong answers, or phone a friend if he chooses. He can call someone for help, or ask the expert. This season, our expert is Mr. Andrew Garrison, a film and animation critic from who was on last season and actually won the game show last season. So I've asked him all these questions previously, and Mr. Clark can see how he answered, decide to go with that if he wants or not. And I guess the last question I have for you, sir, are you ready to play Millionaire?
I'm ready. Let's do this thing.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. Do you see the Millionaire screen?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Animation Edition. And this is your ladder of points. Remember, the yellow ones are your benchmarks. Once you get to those, you can't lose them.
Okay.
And for everyone, this is our expert, Andrew Garrison, and he's written about his strengths and weaknesses regarding animation knowledge. I let Mr. Clark look at this before, so he has an idea of what to expect. And for those of you watching, you could always pause the video and read it in depth. But let's get this to work, sir. For 500 points. What is the title of the animated 2005 Disney canon film about a character who once falsely informed his town that the sky was falling? Is it A, Chicken Tiny, B, Chicken Little, C, Chicken Average, or D, Chicken Gigantic?
Thankfully, this is one that I know and a film that I've seen. I'm going to go with B, Chicken Little. Final answer.
And nothing's final till you say final answer, so always take your time to say that. But for now, I'm pretty sure your answer is correct. Good job.
Okay.
I know this has a reputation for being the worst in the Disney canon.
Yeah, it's definitely on my ranking. It's definitely low.
I think you and Rachel, Rachel Wagner, you guys reviewed this on her Disney canon podcast.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, sadly.
And if we haven't, we've talked about it, and not in positive terms.
Nice. I actually have a controversial opinion. It's like while I would say it's the worst in the canon, it's not my least favorite. I do somewhat like the film.
There are some aspects that I like about it too. I think some of the humor actually is kind of fun. I think some of the squash and stretch, the animation that they are able to do with CGI, at least at that point in the 2000s, was pretty good. But wow, there's also a lot of stuff that's going on at the Disney company that was so negative at the time too. So I think that also kind of clouds its reputation.
Yeah, there was a lot of Disney-related history behind this.
Yeah.
Well, the important thing is, did you know the answer? You did. So let's keep going.
Moving on.
Next one is a 1,000 point. I have to remind you, if you get it wrong, you leave with nothing. I don't think it's going to happen, but just letting you know.
You never know.
1,000 points, sir. The animated 1998 direct-to-video Disney Toon Studios film Belle's Magical World is the 3rd installment of which Disney canon film? Is it A, Aladdin, B, Beauty and the Beast, C, The Little Mermaid, or D, Sleeping Beauty?
Okay, well, I have not seen this film because I'm not a fan of these direct-to-video titles. Maybe that's another thing you may have heard on the podcast with Rachel. But because the title has Belle in it, I'm going to go with B, Beauty and the Beast. Final answer.
Well, you're quite lucky that you had a couple of Disney questions in a row.
My stars, Ibrahim.
These are all randomized. So
I can't believe that because that's my favorite stuff. But
and you got this one right too. Congratulations. Okay. You have 1,000 points, sir, no matter what happens.
Have you seen this
I've
film?
seen this years ago. I don't remember it much besides not liking it. This brings a good question. Which do you dislike more, the direct-to-video sequels or these live-action remakes of animated Disney films?
That is a very good question. I mean, probably the direct-to-video sequels, just because the quality was, I thought, I mean, they made them on the cheap, which was their whole point, because they were a huge moneymaker, for Disney. But because the only saving grace for me with these remakes is that they at least go high quality. They bring in A-team talent or A-list talent, and spend a lot of money. But it makes me mad that they're doing them in the first place. I think that with the creative talent that Disney has, they could do something better, do something original. But anyway, that's my soapbox.
I agree with you in that the direct-to-video, the remakes are better quality than the direct-to-video movies, but I think the remakes are more offensive because they're offensive to the medium of animation. So that's why I could tolerate the direct-to-video sequels more, because I know they're bad, but I'm not offended by
them. They both kill me. I'm sorry about it, but that's interesting analysis. I'm glad you brought that up.
A perfect world, none of them would exist.
Yes.
But I mean, there are some direct-to-video ones I like. I like Lion King 2. I like Aladdin and the King of Thieves. But that's probably just me.
Hey, it's A-okay.
Okay, let's keep going, sir. 2,000 points. The titular character, another Disney one, the titular character in the animated 2008 Disney canon film Bolt is what type of animal? A, a bear, B, a mouse, C, a dog, or D, a horse?
I can't believe I have another Disney question, Ibrahim, but I just recently rewatched Bolt on Disney Plus. Nice. And so literally it was like 2 weeks ago. So I can say that I'm going to go with C, dog, final answer.
You said C, dog, final answer. Your answer is correct.
Okay. I was paying attention. That's good.
The random generator's working in your favor.
Wow.
This is a movie I like. I do like it when I watch it. Don't have issues really. I enjoy it, but to me, it's the most forgettable movie in the canon. Literally every time after I watch it, I really can't remember what happened.
Yes, and I think it's a really good point. I think it's entertaining and a lot of fun, and I'm with you. It's not just this classic film that just stays with you forever.
I don't know why. Like, it's not a bad movie, but no. I can never tell you. Like that guy who's standing there next to the bee. I have no idea who he is. I'm sure he's a bad guy, but I cannot remember.
I believe it's Dr. Calico, but I could be wrong. Wow. I just rewatched it too, so thankfully it's kind of fresh in my memory. But I hear you.
But, oh well, you're doing great, sir. Let's keep going. 5,000 points. Which of the following animated Don Bluth films was the only one to be released direct-to-video rather than theatrically? A, All Dogs Go to Heaven, B, Thumbelina, C, Bartok the Magnificent, or D, Anastasia?
So, Don Bluth films, I wouldn't consider myself an expert in Don Bluth films, but I think I've been aware enough of the general, just of the product, just of the films that have been released, particularly if they were released theatrically. So if I'm not mistaken, the character Bartok is like the sidekick villain in Anastasia. And so that just seems to me like it would be a perfect title to go to direct to video. Also, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Thumbelina, and Anastasia. If I'm not mistaken, those I think were all theatrical releases. I'm not 100% sure about Thumbelina, but I think it was. And I would be so surprised if Bartok the Magnificent ever made it into theaters, because I think I would have remembered that, because I'd be like, are you kidding me? So I actually think I'm going to take a bit of a jump, Ibrahim. I'm going to say C, Bartok the Magnificent, final answer.
Well, you weren't 100% sure, but you're pretty
I
confident
was
enough to take a chance.
90.
90 is a good percent to me. But is it correct? You get it right,
We'll
keep going. Your answer is correct.
Okay. I was really worried. I was like, I don't know, what if really Thumbelina was? I could have sworn the Thumbelina was in theaters. So
yeah, it was. You're right. This one was a spin-off film based on the Bartok character for Anastasia, and it's the only of the the sequels of Don Bluth films that was actually directed by Don Bluth and Gary Goldman. So
interesting. Okay, have you ever seen it?
I saw it. Yes, it wasn't bad from what I remember. I mean, like, for what it is.
Sure,
it was entertaining enough.
Yeah, I've never watched it, so I might have to add that to my list.
I think it depends on if you like Bartok as a character. If you find him annoying, then you might be annoyed. But I like him and I like his voice, so
okay.
I enjoyed the film.
You enjoyed the film.
Yeah. All right, sir.
Cool. I'm happy to learn something too, and I'm grateful to get it right. We'll see how we continue.
That's the good point. The good thing of this game, you learn stuff as well.
I know, right? And I just didn't want to use my precious
lifelines. Oh, something I forgot to mention to you. When you get to 32,000 points, if you get that right, you get that fourth lifeline, the switch the question.
Oh, okay.
So I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
So you still have 3 lifelines right now, and you're 3 away from the next benchmark. Let's go. Okay. 10,000 points. Which of the following villains uses a machine with the hopes of bringing back his dead wife and son via parallel universes in the animated 2018 Sony animation film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Is it A, Green Goblin, B, Sandman, C, Electro, or D, Kingpin?
Okay, well, have
you seen this one?
I have seen this one, and I like it a lot. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Kingpin, because Kingpin, that's kind of what is driving him, is that he lost his wife and son. Sandman, I think, is actually so Green Goblin clearly is a classic Spider-Man villain, but I just don't remember him having a big role in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Sandman seems to be the Batman, that he's a Batman villain. So, but again, I could be wrong, but I just don't think it's Sandman. And Electro was in one of those other Spider-Man, just movies, one of those live action ones. Particularly not with Tobey Maguire, but with the other guy, and I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm actually gonna take another risk here, Ibrahim, and I'm gonna go with D, Kingpin. Final answer.
Sure are you this time?
I am 85% sure.
Okay, a bit less than last time, but still pretty good. Was the Kingpin?
Kingpin just seemed like he was the major villain in that movie.
Your answer is correct.
Ooh.
Okay.
Congratulations. Well, thank you. No, I am. I was a little nervous. what's your take on those answers? Because Green Goblin is not in. He doesn't have a big role in Into the Spider-Verse, or does he?
I don't think he's even in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I don't think he is either.
None of those three are.
Okay.
Dr. Octopus was, but like
yes,
the female version.
It was the female version of Doctor. In fact, yeah, and I was wondering about that, and then when you said, anyway, I'm grateful. I remembered. Did you see this movie?
I did. I loved it so much. From not just the movie's amazing and the story's amazing, but the animation, like I literally felt like a comic book was coming to life.
Me too. I loved it. I just visually, it was just such a treat. I am so grateful to see it in a movie theater too.
Oh, I didn't see it in the theater, but I can imagine
I think you would have liked that, Ibrahim. It was really, it deserves all the accolades that it got because it's terrific.
One of the best animated films of all time, in my opinion.
No, it's terrific. Absolutely great. Yeah.
And Sandman, I'm not sure if he's a Batman villain as well, but he was also in one of the live-action Spider-Mans. He was played by, I want to say Thomas Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden Church. That's right.
I forget which Spider-Man that was, but he was.
I think I was getting him confused with Scarecrow, who is a Batman villain.
Yes. Yeah. And Electro, you're right. He was the Jamie Foxx played him in the
Jamie Foxx, yes. Okay.
Andrew Garfield was the Spider-Man name.
Thank you, Andrew Garfield. Oh, I'm embarrassed because I should have known. I mean, I know that, but
hey, that wasn't the question, so you got it.
That's true.
All right, sir.
That's true.
Two away from the next benchmark, and all lifelines are there. 20,000.
Okay.
An animated Netflix series based on the Dr. Seuss book of the same name, Green Eggs and Ham, from 2019 to present. What is a bruckle?
Oof.
A, a type of coin. B, a type of bird. C, a type of food. Or D, a type of clothing.
Well, this one I don't know because I can't remember. I've never watched the show, and it has been decades, my friend, since I have read Green Eggs. I think it was in the rotation, of books that I had when I was a little kid, but that was a while ago. So I'm going to have to.
You have your lifelines if you want to use them.
I'm going to have to get some help.
And Andrew said he's generally good with TV shows from the 80s to the present.
So I'm a little hesitant to do a 50-50 on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can, and I don't have to go in that right. Do I have to go in that order, or can I pick which one I want?
Oh no, yeah, it's not
which
order. It's whichever one you want.
Okay, I think I might want to ask the expert on this one because even if it were a 50-50, I'm still gambling. I mean, I'm still.
It's not something you have any knowledge of.
No, I have zero knowledge of. I mean, if I were to say, I mean, I would think that, frankly, it would be either B or D, a type of bird or a type of clothing. But Dr. Seuss is just so wonderful and so imaginative. It could be anything. It could be anything. So I think, I'm gonna need to use a lifeline and use the ask the expert.
Okay, we're using your first lifeline in the game. Nothing wrong with that. And we're going to see what Andrew said. We asked him, and he said, haven't watched this series. I did question this myself initially, but after finishing the first season, I can safely tell you that a bruckle is indeed a form of currency.
Oh,
so A, a type of coin is my answer.
See, so wow, I'm so glad I did that because I wouldn't have.
It was not, you weren't.
I wouldn't have gotten any. So I'm going to trust our friend here, and I'm going to go with A, type of coin, final answer.
Yeah, no idea. You went with Andrew, and good thing is he saw the show, and he was sure it was A. Does memory serve him well? Your answer is correct.
Woo.
Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew, thank you. Need to go thank him on Twitter.
so these are bruckles, like that's a whole bunch of coins there, and actually they're not in the book. So if you had remembered the book, you would have known.
I wouldn't even known.
They're only in this world. This is a very. I recommend checking the show out. It's very unique and it has some voice talent. And Michael Douglas is one of the voices, and Adam Devine, and I'd say check it out on Netflix.
Okay. Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah.
You're welcome. I'm sure you'll like it. All right, sir. The next one is the benchmark. If you get that, you have 32,000 no matter what. And you get that other lifeline to switch the question.
Okay.
So let's go. 32,000, sir. Where does George Jetson work in the animated Hanna-Barbera TV series The Jetsons from 1962-1963, as well as 1985-1987? Spacely Space Sprockets, Cogswell's Cosmic Cogs, Orson's Orbital O-Rings, or Grinder's Gaseous Gears?
Well, this thankfully is a show that I used to watch in reruns when I was little, and they had it. They had the Jetsons and the Flintstones on. It seemed like a lot, like after school or stuff, you know. And because George worked for Mr. Spacely, my guess is going to be A, Spacely Space Sprockets. The other three names I think are very clever as far as and they fit within the context of what the Jetsons would be. But the one that I'm willing to take a risk on this one too, that I'm going to go with A, Spacely Space Sprockets. Final answer.
How sure are you this time?
I hate to be super confident about it, just because I feel arrogance is not a great trait, but I am going to say that I'm at least 95% sure about this one.
So better than the other two. You get this
right.
right.
Better than the two, unless my memory just is completely gone kaput.
Well, sir, you get this right. You have 32,000 no matter what. You get it wrong, you leave with 1,000.
Then I'm leaving with 1,000.
Your answer is...
Always so nervous.
Correct.
Oh, Ibrahim.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I can't believe I made it this far.
You have 32,000 no matter what. You get a sigh of relief no matter what you do today. You will have that.
I feel like it's just the walk of shame that I had the past 2 times. I can hold my head up high.
You did great. Yeah, so Cogswell's Cosmic Cogs is actually in the show. I think
Isn't it a competitor?
I think it's a competitor. The other two are names I made up. So
well, nicely done.
Yeah, I feel the trick with this question is if you knew what Mr. Jetson's boss's name was.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, then it would be a total guess.
Do you like this show?
I do. I didn't watch it as much as Flintstones, but generally I do.
Oh, I love the Flintstones. Oh, my stars. Don't know how many questions I could answer about the Flintstones, but I sure remember loving them as a kid.
I think you had a Flintstones question once.
I think I did too, and I hope I got it.
Yeah, I think it was an easy question, so you got it.
Okay.
All right, sir. You have the switch the question lifeline now. That means if there's a question you don't like, you could swap it and get another one for the same amount of points. So you have that. You have one expert, and you have 50-50. So you have 3.
Okay.
So maybe you'll make it to the million. Who knows? He has 3 lifelines.
I will see. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best here, Ibrahim.
Let's go. 64,000. The 2007 direct-to-video animated Disney Toon Studios film Disney Princess Enchanted Tales Follow Your Dreams features new stories about which 2 Disney princesses? Today, Cinderella and Belle. B, Snow White and Ariel. C, Pocahontas and Mulan. Or D, Aurora and Jasmine?
Okay, well, here,
it's another direct-to-video Disney question.
Direct-to-video.
Are you familiar with this one?
Which I hate. I know I have seen the cover art or something similar, to this title. And I don't know if this one is even on Disney Plus or not, but I'm also just trying to think of what characters these princess characters got direct to video movies, or things made for them. So
take your time and you still have the lifelines.
Okay. Now I'll just go through my thought process. My initial answer, we'll see. Cinderella and Belle both have had lots of animated sequels. There was Cinderella 2 and Cinderella 3, which again I didn't watch, and I thought those were just horrible. I mean, just the concept, like, come on. So many unanswered questions from Cinderella, right? They had to make these stupid sequels. But they made them. And then Belle has had all these sequels. Now on B, Ariel has had some sequels, but I don't think Snow White. Maybe they put her in something as kind of a supporting character, but I'm not sure that they've actually like made a Snow White sequel, and I could be wrong because again, these make me so mad. I just avoid them. So I'd be very hesitant about B because Ariel is a possibility, but Snow White, no. Pocahontas and Mulan also had animated sequels to their films, but I think that they each just had like one sequel and then they didn't get carried on. So that one I'm not sure about. And then same with Aurora and Jasmine. I just don't think. I mean, Jasmine's been in stuff, but I don't think Aurora has. Maybe she's just been a big character. I I hate to waste a lifeline on this, but
We're not wasting. That's the point of them. You have 3.
But I probably should, just because it might help me in my process of elimination, which I just stepped you through. So I would like to use a 50-50 lifeline if I could, please.
If you want 50-50. And just to recap, which one are you leaning towards right now?
I'm leaning towards A, Cinderella and Belle.
Okay. Let's see what the 50-50 says. It's not A, actually.
Oh, see? So, I'm so glad I did, because that would just knock me out.
You can always use a second lifeline if you want, but it's between C and D.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I did that. I probably am going to go with D, just because I think that even though clearly, Mulan's getting a live action remake, I think that Disney's been somewhat careful with Pocahontas, and I wonder if some of that is because they took a lot of flack from historians and whatnot with some of the liberties they took with that story in their animated feature, from 1995. So I hate to use another lifeline. I am going to take a risk here. Ooh. And I'm going to go with D, Aurora and Jasmine, final answer.
Oh, you are leaning towards A. You use a lifeline. Leaning towards D now. Well, it's a risk. Get it right, you keep going. You get it wrong, you lose, and you still had 2 lifelines.
I lose, and it'll be the princesses that knock me out.
PBS to the princesses.
I know, right?
Your answer is... correct.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
Ah, my stars.
So this is the
there's
this
the
is
cover
a film
art
that I felt I didn't know of its existence until very recently, like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was shocked to know that this film came out and I had no idea about it. It was originally intended to be a series to have like future stories of different princesses, and this was the first one about Jasmine and Aurora. I think there are even songs in this too. I never saw it, but this is it.
I tell you, Ibrahim, I don't think I've ever seen this cover art, and I was getting it confused with something else. And anyway, I never would have gotten that.
Yeah, for me, it's very rare to me, even for something that's only as recent as 2007.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, and yeah. So.
Anyway, sir.
Grateful for that lifeline.
You have two more, so let's keep going.
Okay.
125,000. Woo! What is the name of the cat voiced by Scatman Crothers in the 1979 animated Don Bluth short Banjo the Woodpile Cat? A. Sticky Paws. B. Wild Eyes. C. Crazy Legs. Or D. Old Whiskers.
I have seen this short.
Okay.
And but it's been many years, and I have no idea. So,
you could ask the expert, or you could switch this if you want.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that he said he's not very good with
exactly
shorts pre-80s.
Exactly. That's the thing. And I mean, my guess would be A or D, but that means nothing because I'm just pulling it out and just thinking, oh, what would be funny if they called him that. So I think I'm going to use the switch the question lifeline.
So is that your final answer, sir?
That's my final answer.
Okay, so we will switch.
My final answer is no answer.
We will switch the question.
I'll have to look that up.
Well, you could take a guess. Just what would you have said?
Oh, okay, I can just take a guess for kicks and giggles here. Yes. Boy, I guess I'll go with Sticky Paws, even though I'm thinking it's either Sticky Paws or Old Whiskers, but I'll go Sticky Paws.
Well, that's a good thing you didn't. It was Crazy Legs, actually.
Oh, it was Crazy Legs. See, I wasn't even close. See, I knew I can't trust myself even on these ones that I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter. We switched the question. You have a brand new one for 125,000.
Okay.
And you still have one Ask the Expert left. Let's see what this one is. Which of the following segments did not appear in the 1948 animated Disney canon package film Melody Time? Bumble Boogie, Little Toot, Trees, Blue Bayou. Which did not appear? Is this a better question?
It's a better question.
It is Disney, so that
it's
works. It's
Disney. And I watched Melody Time, I think within the last year. I think it was one that I know I watched it for a podcast I did, with our mutual friend Rachel. My guess is to go with D, Blue Bayou, because I think that was one that didn't get included. And that there are storyboards or there's something about it, but I think all the other ones were in there. So, and I just have one lifeline left, right? Don't I? And it's the
Ask the Expert. Yes.
Ask the Expert.
And
this is not his area of expertise. Correct. But I really don't think that there was a Blue Bayou. I really think that was like an extra thing. So I'm actually gonna take a risk here, Raheem, and because I think again, if my memory serves me right, I think it's going to be either between Trees and Blue Bayou, but I think that Trees is in there. And again, if I'm not mistaken, Bumble Boogie and Little Toot are both in Melody Time as well. So I'm going to take a risk here and go with D, Blue Bayou. Final answer.
Could have walked away, but you decided to take a risk. Blue Bayou.
I'm gonna. Well, that's right, because I could walk away. I said final answer. I'm gonna go for it.
It's too late. Yeah, but
I'm going for it. I'm going for it.
Well, at least you've seen it recently.
Well, yeah, and my memory could just totally be serving me wrong here.
Is it recent enough?
I know.
Answer yes.
Look, I can't watch. Please be correct.
Correct.
Oh. Okay. I'm glad I took the chance, but whew.
So wow.
Is that true? Happy. Or was it in another feature?
It wasn't Make Mine Music.
It's in Make Mine Music. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was right, but wrong.
Hey, as long as you got the question right, that's all
Oh
that
my
matters.
goodness, that scared me.
I think this is the furthest you've ever been on this show.
It is for sure, and
Congratulations.
I didn't want to take it lightly, but I thought, I'm almost confident enough to take the risk, so I'm glad I did.
Well, sir, let's see if we can keep going, and
Okay.
you still have one expert left.
I still have one expert left, and then I could walk away with 125,000 points, right?
If
I
you
chose
want.
to.
Correct.
Okay.
And that way, if there's round 2 and you're in the top 5, you'll come back, and usually 125,000 is good enough to come back.
Okay.
So
okay.
250,000. Let's go. Which Mexican film director voices the Comandante in the 2011 DreamWorks animation film Puss in Boots? Jorge Gutiérrez, Alejandro González Iñárritu, Alfonso Cuarón, or Guillermo del Toro?
Well, I don't want to be flippant here. My guess is it's either going to be A or D. A, because Jorge Gutiérrez is an animation director, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, B and C, these are very well-known and Oscar-winning live-action directors who could very well do a voice. And then Guillermo del Toro, he does DreamWorks shows. He's a director of DreamWorks. Jorge, I think his movie was Tree of Life. Not Tree. I mean that, or not Tree of Life. That was
Book of Life.
Book of Life. Tree of Life is Terrence. Anyway, that's live action. But I probably am going to want to ask the expert on this one, and I think I'll use my lifeline, because my sense, I mean, my guess would be D, but when I don't know it, as we found, Ibrahim, I don't know it. so
you want to ask that, Andrew?
I would like to ask. Yes.
Okay, Andrew's generally good with the big.
Well, and the
films.
time, the 2011.
Let's see what he said. He said, Puss in Boots is totally underappreciated, but being a lover of many things Guillermo del Toro has been involved in, and known he has a profound animation for animated, I have to say it was him.
Yeah.
So he's saying Guillermo as well.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a risk here. Oh, although I'm not 100% sure, but he went with the same direction, and it just seems that it would just make sense. I just, let's go for it. D, Guillermo del Toro. Final answer.
Oh, you were leaning towards this, and Andrew also is leaning towards this.
Yeah, so it's a calculated risk.
Your answer is
These pauses absolutely kill me.
correct.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either.
I can't believe
I'm so happy
it.
for you.
Well, thank you.
You don't have any more lifelines, but hey.
Yeah, I'm out of lifelines.
You're only 2 away from the million.
Right. I could walk away.
Do you ever think you'd get this far?
Oh. Seriously, I was hoping for 1,000, Ibrahim. I was hoping for 1,000. So now I'm expecting the PBS and 1990s PBS animated series.
Bring it on. Okay.
But I could walk away, right? So I can
walk away. Yes.
And can I walk away after seeing the question too?
Yeah. Okay. That's when you would walk away. I'll show you the question and the choices, and then you could walk away if you want.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's do this thing.
500,000. Wow. Let's go. Before The Little Mermaid won 2 Academy Awards for 1989, Best Original Score and Best Original Song, what was the last animated Disney canon film to win an Academy Award in any category? Was it A, Dumbo, B, Cinderella, C, The Jungle Book, or D, Pinocchio? How was this question?
Well, it's an excellent question.
Oh, thanks.
And and I'm just not 100% sure. About
Which one was the last one to win an Academy Award?
Yeah.
You can take a guess, or are you gonna walk away?
I'm probably gonna walk away because I'm not 100% sure. But let's explore it for just a second. Because I just don't know. I really don't know. I mean, clearly, I'm thinking that they want something for song because that's clearly a strong point for Disney, and also it was way before best animated feature. The best animated feature category came in, and I just am not sure. I think Pinocchio won an Academy Award, but I'm not sure about Cinderella, and I love the music, and I'm not sure about Dumbo either. Oh my stars!
Take your time.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that I have read, like the winners, the Disney Academy Award winners, but I just don't have it firmly enough in my mind, and with no lifelines left to know what it would be, because really, I think any of them could have won. I mean, Jungle Book. Well, I mean, because again, I personally love all the music. I just am not sure what would have worked for the Academy, and if some of those songs won. I mean, I just would hate. I've made it this far. I would hate to. I'm just not confident enough to. Darn it! But I'm happy it was at least a Disney category, But I just am not confident enough to, because truly it would be an absolute yes. I mean, I don't know if the Bare Necessities would have won for best original song. With I mean, it'd be great if it did. But I am going to walk away. Sadly, because I would love to try to go all the way, but no, I'm not. I'm just not confident in it, because I frankly think any one of these four could have won, and if that would mean the most recent would be the Jungle Book, but I don't know. You're nice to listen to me ramble. I'm going to walk away.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Congratulations. You have 250,000 points. There's a whopping score, and if there's around two, that's like a 95% chance you're coming back.
Well, so I'd love to come back, but darn it, I wish I knew this answer.
If you took a guess, what would you say now?
Oh, well, my guess would be between Dumbo and the Jungle Book. But then I probably should just guess Cinderella and go against my better judgment, I'm just gonna say Jungle Book for kicks, and we'll see.
If you had told me Jungle Book final answer, you wouldn't have 250,000. You would have 32,000.
Yeah,
That
was the wrong answer.
The correct answer was the right answer? Dumbo.
Oh, it's Dumbo. Okay.
Cinderella and Jungle Book were nominated. They've in the music categories, but they didn't win.
They didn't win.
Dumbo was the last that got when Dumbo has the best original score award.
Oh, they won for best original score too. Yeah. See, I just kept thinking of song as well.
It was nominated for Song for Baby Mine, but didn't win. But the score won. But hey, wow, 250,000.
I lucked out on that one. I would have gone down in flames.
Well, this has been a very amazing episode, and
this has been really fun. Thank you, Ibrahim.
I enjoyed it. And before we go, how can people find you online or to look you up?
I'm on Twitter at Stanford Clark, and then I've got a movie blog and podcast, as I mentioned, at moviespastandpresent.com.
And I'll go ahead and put links to those in the video below. And thank you again for coming on.
Hey, Great to see you, and thanks so much. This was so fun.
And for everyone else watching, we have 8 more contestants to go. Maybe one of them will make it to the million, or maybe we'll have round 2, and I'm pretty darn sure Mr. Clark will be back for that. So until then, keep watching. Bye.